Before we get into today's show, which is breaking down the running back room for the Dallas Cowboys, if you want more Cowboys position breakdowns, we need your help. Share today's video on social media. I will always do the videos that most people watch because that means you guys enjoy them more. So let's share this one. Get it in front of more people. More people watch it, and we can break down more positions on the Dallas Cowboys. As promised, we are breaking down the running back room on today's show. We'll go player by player, discuss some pros, some cons, their overall scouting report on these guys, contract details as well, and discuss their likelihood to make the roster in what will be a committee in 2025, with roster spots still very much up for grabs. The bigger names, so to speak, are Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, who signed this free agency cycle to one-year deals that don't really guarantee them a contract spot. Jaydon Blue, who I know many of us are excited about, was a 5th-round pick out of Texas. Phil Mafah out of Clemson was a 7th-round selection. Deuce Vaughn is back on the toe for at least a couple more months. And we'll also discuss Hunter Luepke, who isn't a full running back, but does a lot of different kind of jack-of-all-trades stuff. Let's begin with Javonte Williams, He's owed $3 million this year. That's it. Only $2 million of that figure is guaranteed, with the hope here that the former early 2nd-round pick looks more like he did earlier in his career. The first season for Javonte Williams was solid. 4.4 yards per carry, nearly ran for 1,000 yards. Then he got hurt and missed almost all of 2022. And hasn't really looked the same since coming back as a runner. He's still been solid, even in more of a check-down role last year for Denver as a pass catcher. He didn't have a great average there, but he's a good 3rd-down pass protector as well. I think the draft pedigree, an early 2nd-round pick, the 3rd-down value for Javonte Williams, the size of the contract, he's getting more than anybody else is if he makes the team. That should probably make him the early favorite to be RB1, at least for week 1. It could very well change beyond that, but he has to show some stuff too. If he struggles, there's nothing stopping Dallas from cutting him even before the season begins. I harken back to the Clinton Dix got a big contract and still got cut before camp was even really truly over. Pinned comment on today's show is this: grade the Cowboys running back room. A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know at the pinned comment of today's show. Let's go to Miles Sanders. He's owed $1.2 million this year. That's all fully guaranteed. It's also just $1.2 million. It's not, you don't save anything, but it's still less dead money than what it would be for Javonte Williams. A lot of this comes down to, okay, which version of Miles Sanders shows up? The guy in Carolina who got paid by the Panthers wasn't good. He wasn't as good as Chuba Hubbard. It's always informative to me, at least, when I see two players in the same team and one is just better and more productive than the other. That tells me, okay, it's probably not just a situational issue. In Philadelphia, behind probably the best offensive line in football, he averaged over 5 yards a carry in his 2 seasons, in 2021 and 2022. That should raise red flags over the last 4 seasons. As a receiver, Miles Sanders has the traits. I think he has some athletic ability to be a factor, but he hasn't done much with it. So you almost have a situation where he might be a better early down runner if you get the Eagles version. If you get the prime version of all these backs, the best of what we've seen so far, that's Miles Sanders. Knowing there's only one of the backs we've seen so far in the NFL. So it is kind of a limited pool there. But if he looks more like the Eagles version, he could be a key contributor. If it's more like the Panthers version, he might not make the team. Let's go to Jaydon Blue, the 5th-round pick, the one I know so many of us are excited about. I put it as a pin poll on the community. Who leads the team in yards on the ground? Jaydon Blue got a lot of votes there. He was not Texas's top running back last season, but he was involved, and he was productive. He's explosive. He brings juice, speed, big playability. He had 8 rushing touchdowns on 134 carries, averaged over 5.4 yards per carry, or around there, I should say. Matches his career figures, too. And then also had 6 receiving TDs. He did, those little running back wheel routes, did some Texas routes, /angle routes, or whatever terminology you want to use there. I don't know if Jaydon Blue has the physical frame and just the size and body armor to hold up as an every down running back. I don't know if that's the case. But I do think his explosiveness, the pass catching value, the speed, the big playability, that doesn't exist on this roster right now, really beyond him, gives him upside that other backs don't have. And I think that puts him in a very good spot to make the Cowboys roster. Even if he's not the one, so to speak, or if he's the 1B, the 1C, that kind of role, the juice guy, actually gives him a pretty good floor to make the Cowboys roster and be a contributor. Looking for the top guy to lead the Cowboys in yards on the ground, it's probably one of these three players. O for other, comment who if you disagree. JW for Javonte Williams, MS for Miles Sanders, JB for Jaydon Blue. Let's get into the Hunter Luepke contract and where he sits. He's only owed $1.04 million, which is, a drop in the bucket for an NFL team. Almost all of that would be able to be saved with the release because he's a former undrafted free agent. He's in the last year of his contract, but he's a restricted free agent next season. Luepke does everything for the Cowboys. Not a lot of it, but a little bit of it. He's gotten some carries. He's gotten some catches. He's done a ton of blocking. He's done a lot of special teams work, which we'll talk about more at the end of today's show because that stuff does matter. Luepke's 2024 snaps broke down as follows. Single back, i.e. running back, 150. Fullback, 105. Tight end, inline, 40. Kind of as a slot receiver, which is kind of just like out wide, in between tight end and receiver. It might be more of a tight end package for him. 24. As the wide receiver, so to speak, 8. He did a little bit of everything. Hunter Luepke, unlike the other guys, we know for a fact offers 4-down ability. First, second, third, and fourth down on special teams. I would be surprised, given Brian Schottenheimer's praise of Luepke, if he doesn't at least make the roster as the fullback and as the special teamer / fourth tight end, fourth running back, number one fullback, key special teamer. Like, that jack of all trades role has immense value when you get to the back end of your roster. Speaking of Jaydon Blue and Phil Mafah, we'll discuss here in a little bit, you can get their rookie jerseys and other Cowboys NFL draft gear and other rookie jerseys by going to chatsports.com/Cowboys draft. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. A clickable link over there in the corner. It's draft hats, hoodies, and rookie jerseys. They'll show Booker. You don't have to search for someone like Jaydon Blue, but it is available on Fanatics. Chatsports.com/Cowboys draft. Let's go to Phil Mafah. Again, this is a 7th-round pick contract. It's super cheap. Under $900,000. You save the vast majority of that in 2025 if he ends up not making your 53-man roster. The career rushing stats for Mafah, he was pretty productive, pretty consistent over his time at Clemson. Didn't really have any efficiency drop-off in a bigger carry workload in 2024, even though he did battle a shoulder injury. As a receiver, there's some question marks here. He wasn't heavily involved as a receiver. His really good size and frame and the power he possesses should make him a better pass protector, but he's just not there yet. That's not uncommon for college football players doing to make that note. His power running style, where he's got a lot of size on Jaydon Blue. He's like 235, and we'll see what he checks in at, throughout OTAs and training camp and stuff. That complements Jaydon Blue very well. But does he make the roster? I don't know if Dallas carries 5 backs. If it's Javonte and Miles and Blue and Luepke, would they carry a 5th in Mafah for a guy that would probably be inactive on game days? It's tricky. We will have daily Dallas Cowboys videos for you right here on the channel. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Let's discuss our small king, Deuce Vaughn. $1.06 million cap hit this year. The Cowboys saved pretty much all of that with a release, although at that price point, the differences between the guy you keep and the guy you cut are pretty minimal. In the final game of the season last year, Deuce Vaughn played actually pretty well. He flashed some of the highly productive stuff we saw at Kansas State. I do worry a little bit for Deuce that he's kind of just been set up for failure by the last regime, notably Mike McCarthy, who never seemed to figure out, hey, maybe asking pure halfback dives from our mini-sized running back isn't a great idea. He's going to have to showcase a lot in the preseason. I'd argue he has shown some good stuff in the preseason, but he faces an uphill path to make the roster. And one thing that matters here a lot, by the way, is special team snaps. When you're that back of the roster player, if you help on teams, helps your roster chances. Career special team snaps, 457. He does it all for them. Deuce Vaughn's got 51. 8 of them were on non-returns, though. Miles Sanders has 42. 1 on non-returns. Hasn't done it. JaVante Williams has 4. None on, regular non-kick return stuff. So field goal block and, punt protection and kick coverage and punt coverage. Those guys haven't done it. Phil Mafah's got 119. All but 3 of them came on kick returns. Jaydon Blue's got 93. Only 9, though, were on returns. You can see why I think Luepke and Blue have a good chance of making this roster. They've at least shown some ability to do some special team stuff. That, again, helps when you're trying to figure out the back of the roster. Difference between, if, Deuce Vaughn, Phil Mafah, Sanders have got to fight for RB4, well, if they can't help on special teams, what's their role? Because of that, I think there is a real chance that it is over for our small king, my small king, Deuce Vaughn, at least on the active roster. We'll see what happens, injury-wise, see what happens on practice squad, and how they look in the preseason. I bet they're going to play Miles Sanders and JaVante Williams, and we'll get a lot of looks at them in camp because it's all open. Nobody on this roster in the backfield is actually guaranteed a spot. They're all cuttable. So how many backs make the Dallas Cowboys roster? We will include Hunter Luepke in this conversation. So, anywhere from, I guess, 3 to maybe 5. Doubt they go 2. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Let's break down the roster statuses here. I think Jaydon Blue, Hunter Luepke, for their roles, what they bring that others don't, I think they're near locks. I think something bad would have to happen for them to not make the Cowboys roster. Injuries don't count here, by the way. JaVante Williams, Miles Sanders, may be safe. They are probably the favorites to make the roster, but they're not guaranteed. And then that puts Phil Mafah and Deuce Vaughn on the roster bubble. Cowboys love their draft picks making the roster. Mafah was only a 7th rounder, and there's a lot more competition this year on the Cowboys to make those final roster spots.